Hi. I am eating tamales today from the cart. I actually pass this cart a lot and I'm always curious about it, but it's never the right time, and today it was the right time. It's kind of like the perfect food for me because I notice I don't know if anyone has this problem, I get bored when I eat. It's not that I don't always enjoy what I eat. Well, that's true sometimes, but especially if I'm eating by myself, I just get bored. I don't know. I love eating. I love food, but sometimes it's boring and I just want it to be over. Like, I just want it be full and be done. I don't know. And this is perfect because I'm probably gonna be done with this in 2 seconds because it's actually so good. And it has kind of everything you need, in my opinion. Wow. It's actually so good. This morning I woke up early for me on a weekend, which is like 10. And I went around to some vintage shops because Sai got me flowers for Valentine's Day, and I would show you them, but they are by the light because they need to be revived, if that's even possible. But Sai got me flowers for Valentine's Day, and it occurred to me that we don't own any vases. So I went to a few different shops. There was one glass vase that was so cute at this vintage shop, and it was really unique. And I was initially gonna go to the dollar store to get the vase, right? And then I was like, no, let me get something like nicer. We go to these stores, and the one that I wanted was $170, and I'm just like, I feel like my taste is, I always like things that are expensive. I know that's just an annoying problem to have, but every time I'm like, oh, I like that, and then it's like $400. Oh, in those moments of shopping and finding something that you really like, it's easy to get carried away and act on that dopamine and urgency that shopping can make you feel. And I was like, okay. And then I just have been trying to practice more restraint, and especially with my relationship to things and purchasing and objects. And I am paying more attention to that, especially as I just moved into a new place. I spent so much energy and time trying to get rid of a lot of things, and sometimes my brain, it thinks like, okay, if I'm gonna get the vase, I should get the perfect vase, the vase that I'm gonna use for years. And it's okay if I spend like $300 on it, which is, I don't know. I don't know what that is, but I took a step back and I was like, maybe I shouldn't spend this much money on a vase. And then I went to a few other stores, and I didn't even, when stores have things that don't even have the price tag on them, and so you already know that you're fucked. So I went back to the dollar store, which was my original plan, and I found, I wish I could show it to you. It's not the most amazing and unique glass in the world, but it's not ugly, and it was $7, and it was pretty good quality glass. I mean, it was very thick, and all that to say is it's so easy to be impulsive, especially living in a city and being surrounded by so much advertising and consumerism. And I am not above that at all, because I know I contribute to that, and I'm slowly working on that every day and trying to be intentional about how I buy things, and I try to think about things for a long time. I would say when it comes to purchases, my weakness is shoes. Shoes are just really hard for me to resist. And I don't know, just learning what you really paying attention to your habits too. For example, if you're buying a bunch of shoes that you don't really end up wearing, or for a lifestyle that you actually kind of don't have, maybe they're more aspirational. I don't know, just paying attention to that type of buy those types of buying habits. Does something feel aspirational, or does it feel like something that you're actually going to use? So yeah, it was nice. I'm so glad that I decided to take a step back and then go with my original plan, because now I can use that money that I saved towards shoes. So bad. No. Okay, but anyways, changing the subject. I know in my last vlog I mentioned potentially going to this event that Martin was DJing, and I'm trying not to be mad. My suspicion after all the press came out was that it was, or I mean, not even suspicion, I think it's very obvious that it was a marketing thing, and it was very much more closed off to the public than they made it seem. Definitely seemed more like a kind of some sort of press driver, whatever. So I was like, okay, fine. I wasn't gonna go there anyways, and this really popular magazine posted photos about it, and then I'm like swiping through, and this is why I said that I took a break from Instagram, and I have been taking a general break from social media, or just like using it a lot less. Anyways, see, this is why I need to get back off of it, because I go through this photo set and I literally see somebody that I know, or that I used to be closer to, and I'm still a bit salty about that situation, but I will not go into that fully. Tell me why I see them there, and this like photographer like took this like photo, and it's very, it's just one of those things, and I'm like, do you even know who like, I don't think, well, I don't know, I'm assuming, but I'm just annoyed because I feel like they could have easily not even known who that person, who Martin is in the lore, and just was like, oh, this is a fun party. So anyways, annoying, but it didn't seem like my type of crowd anyways, so whatever. Like, it's funny like that, and I'm glad that I am a bit distant from that. I love my creative friends, and I love fashion, and I love I have a lot of creative interests, but I'm glad to be distant from those types of circles. Not that I think that all of those people in those pictures are horrible people, because I don't know them, I'm just making assumptions, but that feeling of going to a place or a party and you feel like you're the only person with a corporate job, lol. Yeah, no, I just think I'm learning that I like being normal. I feel like it's so easy to get sucked into certain things, and I don't know, there's like a clickiness to aspects of city living, but I feel so distant from that now, which is honestly very peaceful. So anyways, whatever. Aside from that, okay, yesterday was so fun. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. What did we do? So Sai and I went to this ceramics kind of art, like local art pop-up at this local cafe called Larry's Cafe, and it's a Vietnamese cafe. It was so good. I had been meaning to go there for a while, but it's not necessarily somewhere I can just, wake up and I'm gonna walk over there. It's kind of a trek. So it was nice to go, and it's funny because Sai met, well, the reason why he was going there was because he's friends with this person named Evelyn, and Evelyn, like, Sai would talk about Evelyn and be like, oh, they're really cool, I think you would like them. He goes to the gym with them, and or he hangs out at the gym with them, whatever. But anyways, they're like, yeah, he was like, they're a tattoo artist, and they're really cool, and talking about their personality and stuff like that. And it's funny because I was like, wait, Evelyn, do they have a lot of tattoos? And Sai was like, yeah, they're a tattoo artist. And I'm like, Evelyn Tats? And he was like, I don't know, because he doesn't use Instagram. Yeah, he doesn't have Instagram. And we realized that we both know this person in different ways. And Evelyn was the first, I think they might be the first tattoo artist that I went to in New York. And that was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought that was so funny that we both happened to know Evelyn in different worlds. And so he knew about this event because I think Evelyn made some art for it, so we went, and then we were gonna say hi to them, and by the time we did say hi, they were gone. But it was such a cute event, and I got some really yummy snacks. And then my friend Abby they made pastries for the event as well, and they were really amazing. So it was really fun, cute little thing. And it was our pit stop because we were on our way to go to Yessie's Valentine's / Lunar New Year / early birthday party. Her place is awesome. I don't know why I said awesome. Ew. Bro. I only say awesome when I'm at work. I'm like, awesome. No, but we went to Bushwick, to her place. It's amazing. It's huge. It's kind of what you imagine an artist's apartment to look like. Like, Yessie is she's awesome. I keep saying awesome, huh? Okay, sorry. I don't know why I keep saying that and why it's really freaking me out. But anyways, she is really cool. She is kind of one of the most connected people I know, but not in this like weird clout way. It's like she just knows so many people, and I think she's really good at making and keeping friends or something. But I don't know, it's funny. I'll meet people and then talk about Yessie, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I know her. So it's funny. But she's just so such an interesting person and really sweet. And she set up this whole like hot pot situation in her place, and it was just so fun. A dog came. Someone was dog sitting. Oh, my light. Why did my light turn off randomly? Okay. And it was really fun and wholesome. We played, we got into some mahjong circles, and then we did a bonfire, and then we did this last year, but Yes, he had us write in papers, write on a piece of paper what we want to create this year and what we want to destroy this year. And then we throw it into the fire. So this was the second year of doing that, and it was just really cathartic. And, you know, I don't necessarily know all of those people that went to this party like really well, but they're all just really kind people. And yeah, so it was a good time. And I think I already mentioned, but we did mahjong circles, and I just hadn't played mahjong in so long, so it was really fun. After, Sai said he had a surprise for me for Valentine's Day. And it's really funny because we were just talking about comedy shows, and bro, Sai was like, okay, what do you think it's gonna be? I was like, is it a show? And he's like, maybe. I'm like, a comedy show? I'm like, maybe. He's like, something that we talked about recently. And tell me why I thought we were gonna see Marcelo Hernandez. I love Marcelo. I'm like, I love you, Sai, but I love Marcelo. And so I was like, but I didn't even say it. I didn't even say, oh, Marcelo. No, I didn't say it. I was just like, you know, like, he's like, something, you know. And I'm like, okay. We had just watched Marcelo Hernandez's stand-up on Netflix, which honestly, I won't like give you the full review, but I liked it. I don't know why. I wasn't like 10 out of 10 on it, but I mean, I just love him. So, and I think he is really funny. But yeah, anyway, sorry. So we had watched that, so I was just kind of thinking that. And then he brings up, he's like, Marcelo? And I'm like, I hope. And he's like, no. And he just kind of like laughs. I'm like, so either he's trying to play some crazy, my hope lasts. He's like trying to play some crazy reverse psychology, or we're really not seeing him. Because I'm like, who else? Like, who else would be someone that he knows that I'm into? I feel like when I'm into comedy, like stand-up, it's like very seasonal. Sometimes I'm not at all, and sometimes I am. And so, yeah, I don't know. Marcelo was like the only person I could think of. And then like, later on in the night, I deduced that it wasn't comedy, it was a play. And yeah, we ended up going to Wicked, which was really fun and such a sweet surprise. And yeah, it was really, really, really sweet of him to do that. And so we saw Wicked last night, and it was so fun, except for the fact that I felt really anxious all day. It was so weird. And I had like weird physical manifestations of anxiety, and I feel like usually when I'm anxious, I can like, it starts in the brain, and then I feel it physically. But yesterday was so strange also. Like, I mean, I had a great day, but I feel like my body was kind of, it was just in a weird state all day. And it might have been because the night before I had Galentine's Day with Soph, and it was so fun. And we didn't even drink that much, but we drank. And I don't know, maybe that also was why, because I didn't do anything the next day. I didn't like drink or anything. So anyways, that was like the only weird part. So it was kind of annoying, but I'm learning to go through life and, you know, conduct myself in a way of like, even if I feel anxious or I feel like I don't want to do anything, like what would my non-anxious self do? And my non-anxious self would try to be in the moment and practice mindfulness. Well, I try to do that and not be like, not focus on, I'm like, oh, I feel weird. What is it? What do I think is causing this? Why am I feeling this? Like, you can get in that feedback loop and then you just spiral. So it definitely was freaking me out, but I was trying to just, you know, be in the moment. So yeah, very weird. But, you know, that's how it is. You live your life and there's just kind of things in the background or stuff going on in your head or whatever you might be going through. And it doesn't mean that you should not let yourself have a good time or something, you know? Obviously take care of yourself, but I don't know. There's something I think important in obviously resting and doing what you need, but also kind of saying, hey, talk to your anxiety, be like, hey, I see you, but you can hang out. You can hang out, but I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, what I was planning to do today. So that was me yesterday. Did Wicked, that was fun. And then, yeah, earlier that day, I woke up early and bought him some donuts and made a little gift basket and got him balloons. It was cute. And his gift is, it's late. I hate being late with like gifts and stuff. I don't know, it feels lazy, but we've both been really busy, and so we're both understanding. He's very understanding about it. But I got him the Gentle Monster glasses and they should be shipping on Tuesday. Yeah. So it was a great day yesterday. Oh, and then we concluded the night with KBBQ, which was honestly a little bit, it was good, but it was it could have been better. I like pork belly when I like samgyeopsal. I don't know, I can't pronounce it very well, but the really thin cut pork belly. And we ordered a pork belly platter, which was not cheap, and it didn't have that. It was all thick cut. I was like, hello. I don't know, that was kind of annoying, but it was really nice. And honestly, we hadn't been on a date in so long, so yeah, that was fun. And I forgot to mention or talk about Galentine's, but that was really fun. So I went to Soph's place Friday night, and Friday was just a rough day, honestly. I won't get too into it, but I just really needed to relax, and I went over to Soph's. We made the cutest charcuterie board, and we made these vegan jello shots with edible glitter. And yeah, they didn't fully oh yeah, and then they had like maraschino cherries in it. It was so cute. The jello shots didn't fully set, so we're gonna try to figure out how to make ones that do. But yeah, and then we made extra dirty martinis. I got Soph I got kind of like a hers and hers gift, which was a pair of glasses for wine or, you know, any drinks. So so we got to use those that night. And then we watched About Time with what's her name, Rachel McAdams and Domhnall Gleeson, which, oh my god, I loved that movie. I actually have seen it probably twice before, and it's just a good feel-good movie. It's not entirely devoid of sad things, but it's like a very, I think for me it doesn't make me like super sad. It's just like a very it's a satisfying ending for me. But I love that movie so much. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. And I like have a little crush on Domhnall Gleeson. Domhnall. There's definitely a pronunciation that I'm not doing right, but I don't know. I have some random crushes. Not that he's like super random. Well, maybe he is. I don't know. But I feel like throughout my entire life, I've had these like, I think I have a type with, like, when it comes to celebrity crushes. Obviously, for example, Timothée Chalamet, bro, I don't want to be that person, but when Soph and I watch, I have a Vine. I mean, it might, I don't know if I can revive that Vine, but I have a Vine from when Interstellar came out. Soph and I watched it in our hometown on IMAX. And when we saw Timmy for the first time, we looked at each other and we were like, we knew, you know, we knew this guy was gonna go somewhere. So, yeah, so Timmy, like, anyways, side tangent, but, you know, who else? I mean, Andrew Garfield, I feel like I forget about him and then I fall in love with him every time I see him. Again, I fall in love with him again. I don't know, who else? Sorry. I was trying to demonstrate that my crushes can be quite random, but I can't think of anyone that's, like, super, super random. But, oh my god, when I was little, so I don't know if this is weird, but my first crush ever, and I'm truly, like, 4 years old, so I don't know how you have crushes, like, that young. I don't know why. It doesn't really, I don't understand. Maybe it's different, you know, it's obviously, like, a wholesome way, but my first crush ever was Legolas from Lord of the Rings. Also, Inuyasha. So I think I had a thing for, like, really, like, I don't know, what is it, like, long, light-colored hair? Like, what's so random? I don't know, it's just so random. I mean, like, mystical, they were, like, mystical. I'm trying to understand my taste when I was, like, literally, like, 4. I don't know. Anyways, love Donald Gleason. There was somebody in college that kind of reminded me of him, and oh my gosh, I'm just gonna tell you because I think about this sometimes. We hung out near the end of COVID, and we started getting closer basically before, you know, COVID happened and all that stuff happened, and I had to move back to my hometown. And this is super weird, and maybe I don't know, I'll never know what happened, but we were hanging out and jamming. I don't want to give too much detail because I mean, he's definitely not watching this, but we were playing guitar, and yeah, it was honestly cute. And there was a moment where I'm singing, or I don't know, it was like I could feel a vibe for sure, but I don't know, I don't think I thought that much of it. It was just nice to know somebody who was down to play guitar together and stuff. And then I swear that like, under his breath, he said I don't think he said I love you, I think he said I'm in love with you or something, like really, really quiet, like I'm in love with you, like, so, like, kind of cringe, like weird, I don't know, but it was enough, like it was so subtle to the point where I was like, am I just hearing things? But I just, you know, I skated over it because it was very obvious that he wasn't trying to be upfront about it. But why would you do that? I don't know. Or maybe I just completely misheard it and this memory is just never gonna be accurate, you know? But so random, because when I see that actor, I think of that person, and then I think of that moment, and then I start being like, wait, what really happened? Like, can you imagine if you're hanging out with someone and you don't know yet, but that's probably one of the last times you'll hang out because just life happens, like COVID, whatever, like something crazy happens and you don't get to see them for the rest of your, I mean, not rest of your life. I don't know, maybe I might reconnect with that person, you know. But yeah, can you imagine? And then they just drop some sort of like bomb on you, but like really subtly or under their breath, and then you're kind of just like, wait, huh? I don't know. It's so random. Life is so random, but I think what's important is not necessarily romanticizing everything, but remembering that, you know, it's moments like those where I look back and I'm like, oh, life is really so special, and to be able to make connections with people. And, you know, obviously, like, I have a partner now and I love him, but it's great to just, it's really nice to think about, you know, these like moments from the past, and kind of thinking about my relationship to love and crushes and stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe this is just a part of maturing. But I'm kind of somebody that it's not that I want everyone to like me. I mean, I guess that's definitely something that's definitely something that is there that I'm working on. But the point is, I think the reason why also I'm somebody who doesn't like the idea of hating an ex, or, you know, completely cutting them out of your life. Like, obviously if they did something to wrong you, or they're, you know, terrible to you, then that's a different story. But I think like, life is so short, and love and like just acts of care and connection are so special. And you know, even the silly like anecdote story that I have about not knowing if this person said that they were in love with me or not. I don't know, just I think that's what life's about, you know? Like, being vulnerable with people. And back to the ex thing, like, I wasn't with a partner at the time when this would happen, but yeah, years after I broke up with my last two exes, you know, we were able to reconnect and talk and, you know, catch up on things and get some sort of closure. And the point that I'm trying to make is that, I don't know, I think that it's very easy to be kind of, you know, always just moving and never looking back at, you know, these moments that help remind you, like, that where you are today is, you know, really special. And, you know, I mean, I had, when I was single for 5 years, I felt like there was no way that I was ever going to be with anybody. And not that I think that being in a relationship is an end-all be-all. I really don't. I think that you really have to find happiness within yourself. And I don't know, I think, what's the point that I'm trying to make? It's okay to romanticize your life, and I think it's important to honor the lessons that you've learned and honor these special moments. You know, I think, like, I wanted to share with you that, like, thing from college because it's really random, but it reminds me of being young. And I mean, I feel I'm still young, I guess, but it reminds me of a different time that I can say is over now. But it you know, looking back, it makes me happy, and thinking about a different version of me, and loving that version of me. And you know, I don't know, I'm not really, yeah, this is a thing that I'm working on, is like, I can't, sometimes I'll say stuff and then I don't know what the point is. And but I feel like you kind of get what I'm trying to say, you know? I think another point is just, and I'm gonna end here, is like, I think, you know, everyone has a different experience with love and relationships and, you know, friendships. but every day there is something to be grateful for. And there's times where you can't see it, but truly, you know, and especially if you're just kind of someone who's really busy or just don't think you're kind of caught up in that every day, like take a moment to acknowledge that there is, you know, at least one person that loves you and cares about you, and if that's yourself, then that's all the more valuable, you know. That's something that like I'm working on too, is loving myself and loving on myself. Like I think that's something that actually isn't that hard for me. I love going on solo dates, ever since, even when I'm in a relationship or not. That's something that's really important to me. Being able to walk around the city and do whatever I want, and do, you know, listen to my music and not talk to anyone, and just be able to be in my own space and honor myself in that way. You know, journal, treat myself to a good meal. These are all like, you know, it doesn't have to be extravagant, but just doing things for yourself, because that's important too. So moral of the story is to love yourself, and at least work towards that, you know. And yeah, anyways, okay, I'm just gonna finish my tamales. Yeah, I said that I would finish this really quickly, but obviously when I talk, my food gets cold. So okay, all right, well, I hope you all had a good Valentine's Day and have a good weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Okay, I forgot I wanted to share. Soph and I got piercings on Friday, and hold on, can you see it? Maybe I'll put you in the mirror 1 second. Yeah, my case is Domo. Okay, hold on. I got a Doth piercing. Apparently it's pronounced that way. I thought it was Daith. Oh my god. Okay, this is a better angle, I think, but I got a Doth piercing, which is this one right there, the little hoop. How can we get it to focus? Okay. And yeah, I actually got this conch a few weeks ago with Soph. I really love this one. It's something that I just never really thought to get. Yeah, the blue is like from the markings that they made, so, but it's actually healing. It hurt, honestly, was one of the most painful piercings that I've gotten. Yeah, I could see explosions in my head when I was getting it done. But as soon as it was pierced, it was like nothing happened. Like there has been no pain. It feels like there's nothing. When I got the conch pierced, it hurt for 2 days straight. I was starting to think that there was something wrong, but yeah, I really like it. So yeah, I forgot to mention that was the other thing that we did on Friday before our Valentine's night. But yeah, anyways, okay, I'm going, bye.